can answer with certainty. Are the Romantics a one-hit wonder? Or is the Romantics a one-hit wonder? Current members also have other projects. What? They can't go on tour because of, well, you know, Mike Skill has his 67 Riot. Wally Palmer is a member of the Empty Hearts. At one time, he was a part of the Ringo Starr Band with Hello Captain Obvious. Other members have come and gone, such as Cos Candler as guitarist. Guitarist? Welcome, I am Emir, and let's look back in hindsight. First, we have to go into why the Romantics are protective of their copyright. This is a classic case of screwed by their managers. Doesn't have the same ring as screwed by the label. But hey, it's more important to be correct. From here on out, I have to put this disclaimer. The remainder of this video will all be quotes. None of these words are mine. Brian Smith, in his 2003 article on the Detroit Metro Times, wrote, and I quote, "In the band's nascence, managers Joel Zuckerman and Arnie Tenser were cunning and determined, just two Detroit friends of the band who were looking to escape fast food jobs." And, quote, Palmer said, quote, "We were very young, had no idea what was going on. We were just concerned with the formation of the band and trying to accomplish something with it. And they saw something that they could do instead of selling hamburgers." And, quote, an article by Lou Carlozo, which appeared on the Chicago Tribune, states, quote, "Tenser and Zuckerman set up a publishing company for the Romantics called Forever Endeavor Music. It was a faithful moniker. Under their publishing agreement, the Romantics split the company's profits 50-50 with Tenser and Zuckerman. But they also gave up control of their songs for as long as Tenser and Zuckerman could hold onto them. Now, for a little music business 101 and also Law 101, Copyright Law 101, I guess. Songwriters make money two ways, through writing royalties and publishing royalties. Writers' royalties are always awarded to the individual writers listed on a song. Publishers' royalties are more complicated, as a band makes money from its publishing in many different ways. Another big moneymaker is a quote-unquote synchronization license. The fee an artist collects when his or her song is featured in a movie soundtrack. Publishers, in many cases, also control the copyright, and with it, the administrative rights to license a song to some company for use in an advertisement. Advertisement, again, another area where the money pours in. The Romantics made a mistake common to young bands. They assumed that their writers' royalties distributed by the American Society of Composers, Authors, and Publishers, ASCAP, were the only type that existed. Without any publishing-related royalties, often the first money a band sees after scoring a hit, band members barely made a living. End quote. Smith wrote, quote, checks ASCAP cut annually for Candler, Palmar, Skill, and Marinos were sizable, but in no way matched the mechanicals they should have received. I really thought that the ASCAP checks were it, says Skill. I didn't know. We were just happy to be on all these TV shows, Palmar says. We never saw a single open bracket financial close bracket statement from them, says Palmar. The band's contract with Zuckerman and Tenser expired in 1987. But the managers controlled the band's cash flow because they controlled the Romantics' song copyrights. The musicians alleged that Zuckerman and Tenser essentially kept earnings from the band. They fought to regain control of their work, their livelihood. For them, rock and roll was it. Life had nothing else for them. Joel Martin was the first outsider to take notice of the dubious finances. And, quote, Carloso wrote, Martin would say later, quote, for years and years, the only songwriting money they got was from ASCAP for radio airplay and TV performances. They thought that was all their royalties, when in reality, it was just a small piece of the picture. The band never understood what money was coming in from what sources. End quote. Smith wrote, quote, Martin and an attorney demanded an accounting from Zuckerman and Tenser. The Romantics sued their former managers in 1988. End quote. According to the band's own website, quote, the acrimonious fallout and lawsuit with their former managers slowed royalty payments and prevented the band from focusing on recording and touring. End quote. Smith wrote, quote, when What I Like About You surfaced in 1990 on Budweiser and Molson ad campaigns and showed up on HBO, Skill and Palmar say they had no idea the song had even been licensed for commercial use, and they certainly weren't getting paid for it. By 1992, The exasperated romantics and Martin found Norm Ankers, a heavy-hitting Detroit lawyer who'd never worked a music biz case. Turns out the Harvard-educated Ankers was a fan of the band. In January 1995, Tenser and Zuckerman avoided going to trial by signing a settlement agreement. But Tenser and Zuckerman then hired a new lawyer who tried to get the settlement set aside. We ended up getting judgments in varying amounts, says Ankers. The band never collected anything on those judgments. The money was gone. Zuckerman and Tenser, who would eventually declare bankruptcy, had no visible assets. What the Romantics did recover were their lucrative copyrights. And go. The band's website reads, quote, 1995 saw the Romantics settle their 7-year-old lawsuit against their former management and regained control of their publishing rights and music catalog. End quote. Carlozo wrote, quote, with the rights back, the band has been able to license its catalog to EMI's music publishing division for an undisclosed sum. We're relieved, Palmer said. Now, we can just concentrate on recording. End quote. Wow, that's a lot of quotes. But all's well that ends well, right? Well, my dear viewer, you ain't seen nothing yet. Quote, George Cos Candler, a former lead guitarist, sued, claiming he was cheated out of royalties from recordings that went to Master Beat, an entity created by the band to share profits. Band members countered, saying Candler was not entitled to monies from songs he neither wrote nor performed on. In an agreement put Tuesday before Judge Wendy Potts, in exchange for Candler relinquishing a 25% share in Master Beat, he will be paid a total of $130,000. He also will receive 15% of all future royalties due for songs he either wrote or performed. Attorney Sharon Almonroad represents two current band members, Walter Palamarchuk and Michael Skill. This is in no way an admission of any liability, Almonroad said. This agreement was to avoid a trial, although we were well prepared to argue our position. There is still a pending lawsuit from Joel Martin. Yes, that Martin. Martin, who was removed as manager in August 2005, claims he too is owed money. And go. How did that suit turn out? The trial court ruled for defendants, Palmer, Skill, and Master Beat. But the Court of Appeals of the state of Michigan reversed. The Supreme Court of Michigan denied an application for leave or permission to appeal the Court of Appeals decision. In short, the suit Martin filed went back to the trial court. What is the status now? I don't know. I can't verify. Citation needed. Okay, now can we discuss the Guitar Hero suit, the one which involved What I Like About You? Yes, we can. Quote, Defendant Activision Publishing Incorporated, the distributor of the game and the parent of Defendant Red Octane Incorporated, the publisher of the game, obtained a valid, non-exclusive synchronization license from EMI Entertainment World Incorporated, the owner of the copyright in the song. A sync license in the context of a video game permits defendants to make a new recording of the underlying composition and to use that recording in synchronization with visual images in the video game to enable gameplay. In accordance with this license, defendant Wave Group Sound recorded a new version of the song which was incorporated or synchronized into the game. End quote. What copyright law issue did the Romantics, or specifically Palmer, Skill, and Candler raise? They didn't. They raised no copyright law issue. Instead, they raised a, quote, publicity right, which is derived from the particular sound of the singer or band's voices or sounds with which they are often identified. Plaintiff's right of publicity claim is governed by state law. End quote. Instead, the copyright law is invoked by the defendants. Quote, defendants assert that plaintiff's claim is preempted by the Copyright Act. The Act states in relevant part, quote, all legal or equitable rights that are equivalent to any of the exclusive rights within the general scope of copyright are governed exclusively by this title. No person is entitled to any such right or equivalent right in any such work under the common law or statutes of any state. End quote. Quote, to avoid preemption, the plaintiff must, quote, state a claim of invasion of personal state law rights that are distinct from copyright protections. End quote. Quote, defendants argue that plaintiff's right of publicity claim is really a claim regarding the licensing of the copyright in the sound recording of the song. Since this claim is not distinct from copyright protections, defendants argue it is preempted. End quote. The court agreed with the defendants and against the plaintiffs, Palmer, Skill, and Candler. Quote, plaintiff's claim as pleaded arises from defendants' arrangement and production of musical and vocal performances that allegedly sound similar to those embodied and reflected in a copyrighted sound recording, open parenthesis, the song, close parenthesis. Indeed, plaintiff's claim is premised upon defendant's alleged use of their quote-unquote distinctive sound, which plaintiffs describe as, quote, the sound associated with plaintiff's What I Like About You, unquote. Additionally, plaintiffs state that they, quote, are identified with the song's distinctive sound, end quote. Quote, plaintiff's claim is therefore based on their sound, quote, in connection with the music, lyrics, and arrangement, open bracket, of the song, close bracket, which made, open bracket, them, close bracket, the subject of popular identification, unquote. This asserted right, the right of the song's quote-unquote sound as embodied in the sound recording is equivalent to the right in a sound recording protected by the Copyright Act. As a result, plaintiff's claim is preempted, end quote. But the court went further. Quote, notwithstanding the fact that plaintiffs have not asserted a claim based on the Copyright Act, the parties make arguments based on that Act's provisions. Plaintiffs concede that the sync license gives defendants the right to perform the musical composition without infringing the copyright. But plaintiffs argue that defendants also were required to obtain a license for the sound recording copyright. In support, plaintiffs cite to Bridgeport Music Incorporated versus Still and the Water Publishing. Plaintiffs fail to appreciate that the defendant in Bridgeport Music used the actual master sound recording. Thus, the defendant was required to obtain a license from the sound recording copyright holder. Here, in contrast, defendants did not use the original recording. Therefore, they were not required to obtain a license from the sound recording copyright holder. End quote. Quote, the exclusive rights of the owner of copyright in a sound recording do not extend to the making or duplication of another sound recording that consists entirely of an independent fixation of other sounds, even though such sounds imitate or simulate those in the copyrighted sound recording. End quote. Thus, even had plaintiffs made a claim under the Copyright Act, the claim would fail, for defendants' sync license gives them the right to make their own recording of the song to integrate into the game without violating plaintiff's right of publicity. Woo! End quote. Are you with me, my dear viewer? That's a lot of legal mumbo-jumbo. To summarize, fight for your rights, but don't overreach. Respect others' rights. Please comment on the YouTube page of this video any mistakes or corrections, or your thoughts on the matter, or any questions. Please like and share this video and all my videos. Please subscribe and smash the bell so you won't miss any videos of In Hindsight / Balik Tanaw. Thank you to supporters of the show on PayPal. On PayPal, you can give out any amount you want. Thank you to supporters of the show on Patreon, whose names appear on the right. Supporters of the show on Patreon can watch my videos earlier than everyone else. They can see their names at the end of every video, and they can even request reviews of TV shows, songs, albums, movies, and even one-hit wonders. Thank you for watching. Stay safe and take care.